And you want credit, right?
Well, yeah.
Well, where are you going to smoke it this time? In the staff room?
Oh, fair go.
Hang on. I've just remembered something. I owe you wages, don't I? I wonder how much a postman is worth these days. I reckon that's fair enough, don't you? Next.
195 a week? He must be joking.
Yeah, but that covers everything. Well, it doesn't really. It doesn't cover me fares or if I go out, but almost everything else.
Well, that sort of money I'd want to. God, I'd want hot and cold running blokes. How much do you earn at the shop?
Not enough. That's the problem. My bank account's taken a real hard knock.
Well, then why the hell live here? Why not?
I've got to, B. I know it sounds crazy, but Barbara Fields once said something to me and I reckon it makes a lot of sense. She said if you really want to make a go of it in this world, you've got to put up a bit of a front.
What?
Well, you know what it's like. If you look as though you've got a bit of money, people treat you a bit decent. I mean, look at me in that halfway house. They treated me like I was a charity case. I mean, they meant well enough, but, well, you could practically see their halos light up every time they smiled or gave you $1.
What about your flatmate, what's her name, Debbie?
She's all right. She's a bit tight with her money, that's all. She wants me to pay a bit more for food than her because she reckons I eat more. But that doesn't go for all her freeloading friends that come over here.
Look, I know it's not my life, but why don't you move out of here to the other side of the harbour? Here, you're only paying for the view. I know I shouldn't talk after all the money I've taken.
Oh, shut up, B. That's different. You're my mate, remember?
And Debbie isn't, right?
Well, I suppose I was a bit spoiled at Wentworth, wasn't I? Not everybody's like you and Lizzie.
Morning. Oh, good God, not more.
Yes. God, if this keeps up, I'm going to have to join the Storemen and Packers Union.
Well, we don't have to search them, do we?
Well, I think we better. I know they're all from the department, but you never know what happens in transit, do you?
All right. Well, I'll just put my things away and then I'll come back and help you.
All right, thanks. Oh, just a minute. Can I help you?
Oh, I hope so. My name's Barker, John Barker. I'm the curate from the Penview Street Anglican Church.
Oh, I see. You're here to visit, are you?
Well, I'd like to see the governor, if that's possible. I believe her name's Mrs. Davidson.
That's right. Mrs. Morris, would you mind?
Yes, of course. Look, if you'd just like to sign in up here, I'll phone the governor.
So, until I get my own parish, I'd like to spend my last study year doing something practical.
I think you're very wise, and I would like to help, but...
Oh, dear. There's that word.
No, really, Mr. Barker, I was only thinking of you. Our ladies haven't been very enthusiastic about religious instruction in the past.
Oh, but I don't want to take services. I was thinking more along the lines of helping them with any personal problems they may have. You know, family upsets and so on.
Well, they could certainly do with that sort of help. What do you think, Mrs. Morris?
Well, I think we should introduce Mr. Barker to the ladies before he changes his mind.
Personally, I think Mr. Barker's offer is a very generous one, and I'd like you all to think about it. He will be available for you to speak to him after...
Oh, sugar. Oh, sorry, Mrs. Davidson. I didn't know you were here.
That's all right, Lizzie. This is Mr. Barker from the local church. I was just explaining to the...
And about time, too. Oh, no disrespect or anything, Father, but it's a long time since we've seen any gentleman of the cloth in here.
That's all right. But it's not Father.
You know, every
I'm not
prison
a priest.
needs a priest. I mean, it's all right with me because I get on quite well with God, but look at this wretched lot. What do you mean you're not a priest?
I'm from the Anglican Church.
Oh, that's all right, as long as you're not one of those hairy parishioners. I met one in the street once. God, it frightened the life out of me. I thought he'd been shot between the eyes.
Yes, Lizzie, well, you can have a chat with Mr. Barker after lunch, if you like.
Thank you. I'd love to have a chat if you can fit me in.
I'm sure I can, Lizzie. I don't think your friends are very interested, though.
Is that so? Well, don't you worry about them. I'll fix them up. A lot of work for the church once. God, I'll work my fingers to the bone.
Really? Gratuitous?
No, the salvos. Oh, no offence, Reverend, but I reckon they're a really good lot, don't you? I mean, they get off their bums and they do something about it, don't they?
Thank God for the salvos, eh?
Good on you, Rev. I like a good loser. which one of these no-hopers do you reckon we could help first?
Well, we can't force them into it, can we?
Like hell we can't. God helps them who help themselves. Hey, Maxie, get here. Now, this one's got a real family problem. I think she's to blame for a lot of it. Just... Where the hell'd she get to?
What's the matter, Wrinkles? Losing your congregation?
Mind your own bloody business, Mackenzie.
Now, Lizzie, we won't get anywhere like that, will we? Turn the other cheek and forgive, remember?
Forgive her? God, she's murdered 3 people in the last 12 months.
Don't you think the Lord would forgive her?
Yeah, but he doesn't have to live with her, does he?
What about your Salvation Army friends? What would they do?
Yeah, you're right. Captain Barton would be really ashamed of me. I'm sorry, Reverend. But do you really think we can do anything to help Nola? I mean, she's a very hard case.
I think we should try. Why don't we make her our special project?
We're out of funny fags until the next delivery. Sorry.
That's not doing me much good, is it, being sorry?
If you've got any complaints, why don't you write to your local member? Oh, I forgot. You can't, can you?
Very funny. You'll be laughing on the other side of your face if you don't get any more in. We're here for the merchandise, not your company.
Well, what's the matter with you lot? I said there's more coming in and there will be. Now push off. Oh. Too late, Wrinkles. I'm sold out.
I've come to say I'm sorry for yelling at you before. It wasn't very Christian and I'm really ashamed of myself.
And so you should be. I don't mind telling you that I was real shocked. But being a real good Christian myself, I forgive you. Now, is there anything else? Because I'm busy.
Well, if you have time, you could have a few words with the Reverend. I know he'd be really pleased.
I bet he would be. Does he want to buy some dope too?
Don't you dare talk about the Reverend like that. He's a man of God.
Well, he's got his God and I've got mine. Now rack off, Wrinkles. I've got some praying to do.
Excuse me, Mrs. Powell, have you got a minute? Mr. Barker would like to see you.
Yes, of course. Come in. What can I do for you, Mr. Barker?
Well, I'd like to have a private talk with one of the prisoners, if that's possible. Mackenzie, I think her name is.
Mackenzie? Can I ask why?
Well, I haven't been having much luck with the rest of the women, and I think it's because of her. Perhaps if we had a word in private, we'd be able to come to some sort of agreement.
All right, I don't see why not. Don't like your chances much, though. Would you get Mackenzie, please, Mrs. Morris? I'll take Mr. Barker at the interview room.
Thank you, Mrs. Powell.
That's all right. Perhaps you could do something for us at the same time.
Oh, of course. What is it?
Let's discuss it in the interview room. Less likely to be overheard there.
Believe me, Mrs. Powell, I'm as much against drugs as anyone. But you can't ask me to betray this woman's trust.
I'm not asking you to, Mr. Barker. But I am asking you to help us stamp out the drug trafficking in here for the good of all the women. Now, we think it's only cannabis, but could be wrong. I'm sure you've seen the damage that hard drugs can do to young people, and I wouldn't like to see that happen in here, would you?
Very well. If she says anything that may help, I'll pass it on to you. But I won't question her.
Well, of course not. Thank you.
I see. No wonder you wouldn't tell me who it was.
Okay, Mackenzie. Behave yourself. I'll be out in the corridor if you need me.
What's going on? They shouldn't be left unsupervised.
They have to be. I've
So
asked
this
him
is
to
how
tell
you
us if she mentions anything about the drugs.
And he agrees.
Miss Mackenzie.
Look, you can preach all you want, but leave me out of it because I think it's a load of
Mackenzie,
crap.
Please. I'm sorry if you think I've been devious. That was not my intention at all. All I'm asking is that you give me this one hearing. Then if you decide not to cooperate, I'll leave and never come near the prison again. Agreed?
This ought to be good. Go for your life, preacher. Give us some of that good old-fashioned preaching.